Well, hello, 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 hello. How are you? How are you? How are you? It is Latanya Washington here, and I wanted to talk to you all today about growth goals. What are your actual growth goals? We are now in the fourth quarter, and it is now time for us to evaluate what do we want to see happen in these next coming months as we begin to enter into a brand new year. And so today I wanted to talk to you all about a few things, and then later on I'm going to just do a quick Q&A on a different video, but I wanted to make sure that I had this information out to you all so I can ensure that I'm able to just talk to you and just make sure that I get all of my points across to you. So now, as we are talking about growth, first thing I want you all to begin to realize that we have to grow. Physically, we have to grow, otherwise our growth is stunted for one reason or another. We want to grow monetary wise. We want to not just stay in one place, but you want to be able, especially as a business owner, even as an entrepreneur, you may be working a 9 to 5. Everybody's looking for an increase because inflation continues to rise. It goes up. And one thing that I've learned is that money makes you happy. Okay, I don't care what no one says, it makes you happy. But we have to now be in a place where we begin to evaluate, what do I need to do to get an increase? Say for instance, now you might be making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per month, whatever it is. Now you have to ask yourself, what do I need to happen in order for me to then escalate that up to maybe about, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 per month. What is it that I need to do? Now you have to ask yourself, what am I looking for? What do I need to see happen? And so in the growth, there are certain things that we have to look at. All right. And so first of all, let me kind of shed some light on for you when it comes to a goal, because one thing I'm learning, not to take anything for granted. And so I wanted to find what that goal is. And I have my cue cards, but I don't want them to look backwards to you when I try to post. Let me see. No, I'm not going to do it. Okay, so honestly, y'all, a goal is what that one thing, those two things, those three things that you want to, and you intend to achieve, your final outcome, what that thing is that you're trying to achieve. And then, of course, when we look at objectives, it's those things those tangible, those tactical things that we need to do in order to get to that goal. And so in that, you all, we have to begin to evaluate our steps, our strategy. We got to put together that plan. Otherwise, we're stuck saying, what am I supposed to do? Now, let me tell you the reason why I got here. The reason why I got here, you all, is because I began to see, especially now being in academia, working for the college, I began to see more and more what professors make. In evaluating what these professors make, and I began to look at myself coming in brand new. And I said, oh my goodness, they make good money. Educators at the next level make good money. And we're talking for sure enough, past six. And so I began to say, my God. And you go in, Latanya, and you literally are creating programs, you're instructing, you're doing assignments, you're grading, you're doing all this stuff. But it began to open up my eyes. And what happens a lot of times, and I tell you all often, when you get to one level, when you achieve one goal, another door opens. Just like your eyes become wide open to what else is happening in the world. And you begin to see what else is happening. And you say, oh, snap. It's time for me to start moving into that. So what do I need to do in order to get to the next level? The key thing, if you find yourself just sitting under a rock, or you're around people that are going, nowhere, or they have no goals for themselves, or they're just happy and mediocre, then maybe that's just fine for you. But I'm talking to the people that are really, really looking to grow. And I'm talking, this here is about the money. I'm talking about the money. And so that's who I want on this here webinar. If that's not you, exit right now, because this ain't it. This is not it. And so when I began to look at that, I said, okay, I want to talk to you all in regards to that. And so some of the things that I want you all to begin to look at when it comes to money growth, first and foremost, you have to ask yourself, what's my goal? If I'm trying to get to 10,000, okay. So now what do I need to do to make that happen? I have to look at my very own steps. And so now I have to look at, hopefully this is not backwards. What am I going to sell? What am I going to sell? Whether I am trying to sell a product, whether I'm trying to sell a service, you have to say, what is it? What am I trying to sell? For me, honestly, there's some programs I developed a long time ago, and I let them sit on the shelves. Now I've created some more programs that I'm ready to get out into the market. Now, one thing that I realized, everybody may not be ready for that program. And so another thing I realized, you cannot shortchange yourself. So what I did do for me, and what I want you all to begin to evaluate, you have to begin to look at your different tiers. There should be a low tier, there should be a medium tier, and there should be a high ticket tier. Or as we want to say, a high ticket, a medium ticket, and a low ticket. I say you don't have to leave money on the table. You just have to know as an individual how to create your very own programs, or even if you have a product, you might have a product that's for high-end people, middle-end people, low-end people, whatever it is. But remember, our main goal is, how do I grow my money? If I'm at 5,000, how do I get to 10? This is what I want you to focus in on. And so in that, you got to evaluate your tiers. You got to look at what it is that you're looking to sell. For some of you all, that might mean that you have to create something. For some, it may mean you might want to do a workshop. You might look at your contracts, going after the big clientele. You might have the workshop, and you might have a ticket item for something small. It could just be a webinar, whatever it is. And so you have to look at all of that, and you have to look at your price tag. One thing about marketing, the 4 P's of marketing is, of course, the product, the price, the promotions, and the place. Okay, that's what that is. And so in that, you have to look at all areas. How much am I going to, what price tag am I going to put on this item? Where am I going to put it out into the air? And then globally, when I say air, because we are global, this is globalization now. And then how am I going to promote this? And then what is the actual product? When I say product, a service is literally a product too. That's how I look at it, because it's also something that you are looking to sell. And so in that, you all, these are some good nuggets. So I'm hoping y'all are writing all this information down. All right. So now you have to look at, what moves do I need to make? For some, it is now time. Okay. If I have this product, say you already have a product. So let me go there first. If you already have a product, now you have to look at it and say, okay, what and who am I going to sell this to? That's why I always tell people, you always want to create personas, so you want to create that avatar, because you want to know who your audience is. You do not want to waste time. For some of you all, your platform is not Facebook. It could be Instagram. For some others, it is not Instagram. It is LinkedIn, which literally is changing. LinkedIn is changing. I know just recently, and I shared with some people, I received a message on LinkedIn to leave a comment in regards to the education system. And I did that because it was from the New York Times. Another time, I received another email. Basically, I already had LaTanya Washington, of course, on LinkedIn, but then it also asked me to create the company. So I realized that even though there was LaTanya Washington, it also asks for the company. So of course, I put the company, the customer culture. It is completely different. So I want you all even to take a look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn, of course, is LinkedIn. .com. If you notice or not, I want you to take a look at this. It'll then have the backward slash, it'll have IN, and then backward slash your name. When it is a company, it'll be LinkedIn.com, your backslash, then it'll say company, another backslash, and you can add your name. It's completely different. If you have not seen this, I want you all to go over and create a company. It will open up opportunities for you all that you may not have ever believed. Because what's happening now, even with LinkedIn, it is seriously changing. They are now competing. But one thing I want you to remember, LinkedIn is still B2B, which is business to business. When you're on, I would say Instagram and on Facebook, that literally is a B2C. It's business to consumer or business to customer, unless you're doing, you might be going into a community or you're doing ads and you're going after particular people like that. And so those are things that I want you all to begin to look at, because it is now time to grow. You want to begin to say, first of all, what do I need to happen here? How much money do I want to increase from? If you're doing 3, 4, 5, how do I get to my 10? Now I got to look at, who am I? Who is my client? Who are the people that I'm going to sell this to? And then you have to ask yourself, where are they? Where are they? You then have to look at your 3 tiers: my high ticket, my medium ticket, and my low ticket. All right. And then you have to find the actual platforms where these tickets are. And then say, how do I allow myself to be more visible or to become more aware? I call them like, I call them like your money moves. You got to step out and say, okay, this high-end ticket is over here on LinkedIn. This high-end ticket, this medium-sized ticket might be on Instagram or somewhere else. And this other ticket is right here. And so, I want you all to begin to look at those things now, because you have to have that goal. You have to have the objectives. And another thing I always tell people, pay attention. I teach this to my students, you all. It's part of what I do. You got to look at the SMART goals for real. You got to be specific. Okay. If being specific, be specific. I'm trying to get to 10,000. I'm trying to get to 15. I'm trying to get to 20. Okay. You got to be specific. Get specific with it. Then an M. It has to be measurable. Okay, how do I measure? How do I get to this? How do I measure from me getting from this level here to the next? How do I measure this? What do I need to do in order to get there? Okay. And then you got to evaluate. You got to measure it. You got to look at, okay, I got to this point. Now it's time for me to get to the next point. Now it's time for me to get to the next point. Okay. You got to measure it. And then of course it has to be attainable. And so don't say, okay, you making a $500 now and in 30 days I need to get to 10. Well, that may not be attainable. So you literally have to say, okay, I'm at 5 now. How do I get to 1,000 by the end of the month? And then you go from there. You have to make sure it's attainable, and it has to be relevant. Okay. Whatever it is that you're looking to sell, it got to be relevant to the people that you're selling it to. It has to make sense to you. It has to make sense to them, because you only can market to the people that literally, you only want to market to the people that want what you have to offer. But that means too, you have to make sure that it is something that they really, really want. But remember, they too have to be people who have the ability to purchase your product. Okay. So your high-end ticket may not be something that your low-end ticket person can purchase. All right. And so it could be that it's different ways that you're coming at this. And then of course too, it has to be time bound. You have to set a time limit to everything that you're trying to achieve. So if we're saying we're trying to get to, of course, if say you're making $500 and you're trying to get to 10, all right, by 30 days, okay, it ain't gonna work. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna work, because you have to market yourself. You have to put yourself out there. You have to make sure that you find the people where they are on those platforms. There are a billion some people that are on these social media sites. So don't tell me you cannot find your people. I do not agree with that. Another thing you all want to make sure that you have, and people want to fight this all day long, but let me tell you something. You want to make sure that you have a website. You always want to drive traffic to a site. You don't want to just simply use social media platforms. They can die on you at any time because they consistently change. The whole purpose of marketing, especially when it comes to social media marketing, it's about driving traffic somewhere else. It's about driving traffic to a website. It's about making yourself visible on these different platforms. So if I say I have all of my product and my services on my website, and say I don't have a website, and I have all of these products and all of these services, what am I going to do? I mean, my God, today, I just can't keep saying, go to my social media site. They looking at you. I'm going to look at you like you're crazy, because by this point, especially if you have a high ticket item, you need to have a website. I'm just trying to say, because what it does too, it allows you to put everything that you have available on your site. So so people, if they don't want this ticket item, they still have the ability to purchase another item. We're talking about growth. We're talking about money moves. We're talking about growing your pocket. We're in the fourth quarter, and it is now time for you to start making those moves. I know for me, not only am I, of course, instructing at the school, I literally revamped the program. First, it was just for speakers and trainers. I revamped it to a create and launch marketing program, because you have to know how to create your content, and you have to know how to create your topics in order to reach a particular audience. Another thing, and then knowing about your platforms and knowing how to launch. Another thing that I had to sit back and I had to realize, and I had to fight with this for a minute, and it came to me. We have to learn about these funnels. Some people, will put the information out, and you can still, of course, you want people always to get to your website, but just what I'm beginning to learn now too is we have to have funnels. The reason why you want to have funnels, because one thing for sure, you want to make sure that you're hitting, you might have one topic. If literally how funnels operate, if someone clicks on one thing, it'll take them one direction. Somebody might click on another thing, it'll take them in another direction. You want your stuff to be on autopilot, and that's where we are. And that's, for me, that's all I've been working on. Not only am I doing assignments, and now I got to write another curriculum for something else and do the CLOs and all this stuff for school. I'm focused in on me as well, because we're getting to the point now where it is going to be about entrepreneurship. Education will always be there too. Medical field, education field, but a lot of people, as you all see, are losing jobs. They're trying to rely on the government, and as you see, the government ain't tripping. And so you got people that's been relying on the government, still waiting for money. Now, what you doing in the meantime? We can't sit down. We can't just cry. We can't cry a river. We got to do something. And so now it's time for you to start doing what you need to do. If you want to be part of my Create and Launch marketing program, don't hesitate. That is not a big ticket item of mine. That's like a medium ticket. Yeah, well, low end, medium ticket of mine. You might want to jump on that. Now, if I do a quick webinar or something like that, that can be a low end ticket, but I do contracts. So the contracts for me are high end. That's just where it's at. That's where LaTanya lives. And of course, high end for me too is being a professor at the school. That's high end for me. All right. And so those are major priorities. And so I want you all to begin to think of those things, think of what it is that you need to do, and let's get back together, because I want to see you succeed. There's no need for any of us who hears my voice. If you are under the sound of my voice, there's no reason why there should be a major struggle when you have all of these gifts and talents on the inside of you, and they're sitting dormant. There's nothing that you can't do. I don't care if you do flowers. There are people out there trying to figure that out. There are people that would love a tutorial on how to grow flowers. You still have companies that are still available that would love to have a contract with you to come in and bring them fresh flowers. It's so much out here, you all. And that's another thing that I have available. It's about the proposal, the contract, and the profit. All right. So don't sleep on it. If you want this, go to my website, latanyawashington.com, and click and jump in. I literally am only taking 10 people per month. Whereas it's workshops, I got downloadables, but I'm taking 10 people per month because I'll be doing a live session on Tuesdays. And so you don't want to, some of this stuff you guys don't want to miss. And the reason why I'm only doing 10 is because I want to make sure that it is still hands-on and there's just not a whole lot of folks sitting up in a class, because I know there'll be questions and I want to single in on each and every individual. All right. And so that's all I wanted to say to you all. Let's grow. Let's get your product and your service out there to the masses. I want you to start looking at tiers. But first and foremost, how much money are you trying to make per month? Okay, let's go there. Don't even look at the year. How much are you trying to make per month? You can look at the year, you know, it's fine, but I'm finding out that it is more tangible when you say, okay, I need to look at this per month, because then you can break things down and then we can begin to strategize on how I need to get to where I need to go. All right, so that's all for me today. Once again, if you have questions or concerns or have anything, go to latanyawashington.com and leave me a message there, or you can send me an email at support@thecustomerculture.com, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. If you have a group and you want us to come in and talk to that group alone via webinar, that is not a problem as well. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.